Now that is some weak ass action. These are Colibre Regila. Man, well, it says without gunpowder. So I take it. They're like a short, but what are they, like a, yeah, 20 grain. You know, that's, somebody had sent me these one time. But when you figure that's, you know, out of a pistol, yeah, that is a weak ass rifle. Okay. I think I have shown this once or twice before, a long time ago. This is my old H&R Sportsman. Now, people will think of these as the 999, but this was before that. This is like 51. You know, the newer ones have got the rib barrel and they've got the small hand grip. These old ones, it's a big, they're a big gun. They're a large frame gun. But I really like them. I bought this used, you know, very used. It was in rough shape when I got it. And I have not treated this well over the years. But I got it about 40 years ago. I think I paid $20 for it. I use it on a trap line, and I'm usually using shorts in it because it's just a great dispatch gun, though I don't know that these, you know, these Colibres would be enough to even go through like a coyote or a fox even, you know, I don't know. They're pretty damn light. But the good thing is that they'll go in to the brain, not go all the way through and tear it all up, you know. So I like them for that. But I used to use this too in, well, this thing has been through hell. It was through hell before I got it, and I have treated it rough. We have bank beavers around here, you know, that tunnel up under the riverbank, and they make a big den in there. Some of them you can actually stand up in. What happens eventually, it'll cave in and they just move out. So then you've got this abandoned beaver den, which is like a big cave. Or small cave, I guess, in terms of caves. But I would send the dog in. Dog would, you know, because what happens is when they're abandoned and beavers move out, but coons and other critters will move into them. The dog would go in, he'd corner a coon, and I'd go belly crawling in there after him with this in one hand and the flashlight in the other. It was a circus. I don't know that I do it now, but I used to do it all the time. But I was always missing the back sight. I had made this piece of plastic one that I used in there. You know, pretty crude, but it worked. Well, I did the other day looking on eBay. I found what in theory is the right sight, though I'm really not sure. It's a very tight fit in there. These tend to lose sights because it's just these little screws that hold them in, and that adjusts them, and if you don't have them tight enough, they'll work loose, and then the sight will fall out. This one was pretty much of a dry fit. So I don't know if I've got to cut her down a little, but it's funny. You know, when I was gonna do this, you know, first thing I looked on YouTube to see, and it reminded me. There's a video on there. Somebody doing a review on these, and one of these big name YouTubers, and that thing is so wrong in so many ways. It's just utterly ridiculous. I don't understand why you would talk about something that you have absolutely no knowledge on. You know, and there's a point in there where he says, well, the sights, you adjust the elevation and windage on the back. No, you adjust the windage. The elevation, there's a screw. And the funny part is, when he's saying this, the barrel is pointing towards you, and you can see the screw. You know, and it's got a flat on it, and that's, you adjust it up and down. Normally not out that far, but for my funky site, that's where I had to put it. But now I'll have to readjust it for this site. But another thing, you know, in this review, which has got a hell of a pile of views, and it just so off. Anyway, he says you can't carry them with 9 rounds in it, because if you bump the hammer, it'll fire that round. Completely wrong. This hammer cannot go forward until the trigger is actually pulled. Then it can go forward. You know, you can very safely carry these. You can hit them with a hammer. It isn't going to go forward. It isn't going to contact that shell. But according to him, you can only carry 8 in them. I tell you, when I was crawling in beaver dens, I was carrying 9. But it cannot go forward until the trigger comes back and pulls that release. You know, just silly. I don't know. Well, even so, he's showing this gun. He opens it up, and he doesn't open it all the way. He opens it part way up, and then he's trying to load it. You know, farting around like that. All you do is you open them all the way, and it snaps down. You know, I don't talk about stuff you know nothing about. And if you ever figure out that you did that, for God's sake, take the video down. You know, that just aggravates me. Anyway, they're a nice gun. But like I said, I've had this for 40 years, and it has been through hell, even before I got it. But it's always been a good, solid, reliable 9-shot double action or single action. You know, they just, H&R made good stuff. But I like, you know, it's a narrow gun, but a fairly large frame, and that's why I like it. The newer ones, they've got that much smaller grip. But these old ones are dandy. And I was tickled that one day at a rummage sale, I found a holster that actually fits it very well. You know, that's where rummage sales are great. And actually a really nice holster. It's a Hunter, but the design of it, like the strap, has got Velcro in the back. You know, I've never seen one like this. And it's very secure because it isn't just snaps. It snaps and then another snap over the top. You know, really nice. But fits that Sportsman perfectly. But it's kind of funny, you know, because like I say, I paid $20 for it. But that was, you know, back like 1980. Now, at that time, you could go into a gun shop, and there were, you know, bolt action, single shot, 22, stuff like that. You could get a lot of different guns for under $50. And if there was something wrong with them, you even get a better deal on them. Ain't no such thing anymore. But it used to be nice, you know, I bought a lot of old guns that way. But now everything costs you a fortune. And they're crap. You know, they won't last like this thing has lasted. You know, because this is, you know, it's solid. It isn't made out of aluminum. It's a solid hunk of iron and very well machined. But sometime before I got it, somebody had done some peening on that screw. You know, that must have worked loose, peened both sides. You know, she ain't a thing of beauty, but she sure functions. But good to have the sight. You know, I was glad to find that. That's where eBay comes in handy. You just keep looking. Eventually you run across the thing you want. Now I can get rid of that hunk of plastic. But these Calibri, I don't know if I'd have been crawling in a beaver den with a load of these, because, man, they ain't going to stop much. You run across a pissed off badger in a tunnel, you got a problem.